Welcome to Personality Speaking, where the tea is always hot. My show is dedicated to helping you build healthier, stronger relationships through the understanding of the personalities. This show airs live every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to see more of this content, please like, share, and comment and subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you can join us live each week. We want to be able to chat with you. So hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. In case you don't know me, my name is Karen Ward. I'm an advanced certified personality trainer and speaker. I'm a personality coach and the author of the book, Couple for Life, Overcoming Personality Differences in Marriage. Let me tell you, we got some personality differences that we need to try to overcome some days. So I'm thankful that we're here to talk about the personalities so that we can build these healthier relationships. Now, we focus on four personality styles, and the four personality styles are the popular sanguine, which is an extrovert. The powerful choleric is also an extroverted personality style. And the extroverted personality styles mean you get your energy from other people. And then you have two introverted personality styles, and that's the perfect melancholy and the peaceful phlegmatic, which means you get your energy from within. I am both the extroverted personality styles. These theories, personality trait theories, was developed by the late Florence Littauer, who was renowned in this area of personality trait theories. If you want to learn more about the personalities, you can go to my website, beyond2llc.com. You can purchase a personality assessment and you'll get a complimentary 15-minute consultation to go over your results. But if you want to learn about what we're talking about tonight, tonight's topic is unlocking marital bliss, the power of personalities through a kiss. Mwah! We're going to be kissing. And tonight we have an amazing couple that I want to introduce you to. Is Lezlyn and Johnny Parker, the doctors. And it's the doctors, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a little bit. But Lezlyn and Johnny initially crossed paths during their college years. Lezlyn hailed from Jamaica, West Indies, while Johnny came from Jamaica, New York. Johnny introduced himself as Jamaican to Lezlyn, who took him at his word. But was it a truthful claim? I don't know. Jamaica, New York, Jamaica, West Indies, I don't know about that. Their love story was officially initiated on June the 3rd, 1989, when they exchanged vows. However, those heartfelt I do's quickly transformed into a bewildered, why did we do this? Their journey soon became marked by turmoil and a lack of effective communication. Interestingly, Johnny, who worked as a marriage counselor, and Lezlyn sought marriage counseling to turn the page in their story of loneliness and isolation. On a fateful day, while on a hiking expedition, Johnny offered up a sincere prayer. God, show me me. I'm tired of the drama in my marriage. I have said that, Lord, show me me. Whew. And when he will show you if you ask him. Their faith in Jesus, the ultimate author, began to craft a new narrative within their hearts, one that emphasized forgiveness, openness, and surrender. Today, they are united in purpose and on the same page. Lezlyn and Johnny are passionate advocates for serving as life editors, assisting both pre-married and married couples in surrendering their personal stories for a better story written by God. Hallelujah. Thank you, doctors, for joining me on Personality Speaking.
We are so excited.
Yes.
We are so honored. Thank you so much, Karen.
Yeah,
Ward.
no, we've been looking forward, and we are thrilled to be hanging out with you tonight.
Yes.
I am thrilled to have you both. And one of the reasons why I'm so excited about having both of you on the show is because I know you personally, but also because your marriage to me is a beautiful example of how the personalities can thrive in marriage. Because you both have different personalities. What is your personality, Lezlyn?
I am a Sigma. I'm just like you. We have the same personality. I love people. I mean, I talk in the grocery store, like, hi. I don't even know people. It just gives me energy, Karen.
I love it too. I'm the same way. I would tell people that I would talk to anybody. And if there's nobody to talk to, I'll talk to a rock if I have to.
I hear you.
Johnny, and you, what is your personality?
I am melancholy. Yeah. I'm the melancholy person. And she's right, because we'll meet people in traveling. And I'm going to tell you, attention point. We'll be on a plane meeting somebody. And Lezlyn wants to give them our names. I'm like, why are we doing this?
I want to be friends with them.
We're never going to see these people again. Like, we'll talk, but after this trip is over, why are we changing names?
You know what, Karen? I see that positivity. I see that positive energy.
I know, but we'll never see these people again. We don't even know. I mean, we're not on a resort vacation, on a cruise where we're going to see each other over and over. We're landing, we're getting off, we're getting our baggage, we're done. But Lezlyn wants to make sure they know our names, our dog's name, where we live, So
I've met people in the strangest place. One of a dear friend of mine today, I met her in the gynecologist OBGYN office. And we were talking. I had our late friend and my great sister, Dr. Celeste Owens, book in my hand, because we were doing the 40-day surrender fast. And she was like, excuse me, what is your book? Because I was praying to God, I wanted to do a fast. And, and the fast don't start to the beginning of the year. And I wanted to do something now. And I introduced her to the surrender fast, and we became fast friends. So Lezlyn, I am you, my sister.
Thank you.
You never know what those divine connections will be.
Yes. And it would be so nice that you and I hanging out, and then our husband will see that, oh, wow. Because I will go into a store, and I haven't been in it for a long time, Karen. And they said, I haven't seen you. And they know my name. Yeah. And I said, you know what? Thank you so much. What is it? What's going on? They said, because you are a light in this dark world. You make me smile. You're so happy. And they just keep on going on. And that's what I want to do. And I said, I want to support every store that I can and be that light in the dark world.
And for the listeners who might not know, the sanguine and the melancholy are polar opposites, right? The sanguine personality is, YOLO. You only live once. Let's live for the day. Let's be spontaneous. Let's live by the seat of our pants. The melancholy is very scheduled and like, let's do stuff that makes sense. Let's plan it in advance. Let's make sure we can fund it. Let's not just jump into things. Let's just take our time. So they're polar opposites. So that's why I said this is such a beautiful love story of the two of you being able to understand each other and be able to thrive in your marriage. Now, you said you got married in what, 89?
89.
1989.
How many years is that?
34.
34 years.
So excited, 34. And because of you, Dr. Johnny Parker, Danzel Ward and I have been married 29 years.
Oh, nice.
So thank you for the support that you've given us in our marriage.
Beautiful.
Okay, so I really wanted people to kind of get a feel for your personalities, because I think it's important, especially because I've been doing this series on marriage, and I wanted people to understand, even if you're not married, that you can gain insights from married people, especially if you intend to be married someday.
Right.
You can gain some really good insights about how to balance your personalities in marriage. So I want to know what drew you to Lezlyn, Johnny, and Lezlyn, what drew you to Johnny? So
you mentioned that we met in college. I was 20, she was 18. I was a junior, and my job was to welcome the incoming freshman class. I was just doing my job.
I'm sure you loved that.
He was, Karen.
I saw her sitting with her sister and her mom and dad. And I just got this thought that somehow one day I'm going to change that last name and she shall be called Parker.
What?
Yes. I felt it.
It's true.
I saw her at the table. I went over there and sat with her and her family. And when I found out they were from Jamaica, I said I was from Jamaica too. I wasn't lying. And that's when the whole Jamaica thing came up. And so we dated a little bit in college. Then I went back after I graduated college, went back to New York. We reconnected. I'm living in California. And then after that, Karen, we're calling, this is 1980s, right? So there's no cell phones, no email. So I'm calling up to 11 o'clock because save that, that phone rate, that phone bill, right?
Right.
We fell in love. And before I knew it, I'm in my car driving east, going east, coming back to Maryland. I drove 4 days. I'm singing Janet Jackson, When I Think of You, and baby, nothing else seems to matter. I'm rocking Janet all the way across the country. No cell phone. Going through Cheyenne, When I Think of You. Going through Salt Lake City, When I Think of You. I was.
No, that's right.
So that's that's an important piece, because when a man is in love and serious, you do these kind of things. You do what you do. You sacrifice, and so I came back here in 86, 87, and 89. We got married.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so but before I ask Lezlyn the same question, other than her beauty, because clearly if you're looking across the room, you wasn't looking at a personality, you was looking at the
I was looking at the cover of the book, but I figured the content had some good stuff.
But once you got to go over and talk to her, what about her personality you think?
You know what it was? And it's funny because the same things that attract us are the same things later on that we find irritants. So it was her hospitality. She was so hospitable, and it was definitely her hospitality. That was one. Two, she was really diligent, studious. She would always. So I worked in the library part-time, and she would come in there, and girlfriend was like, she was in those books. She was focused. She knew what she wanted. She was very diligent about her studies, and she was hospitable. And so those were the things. Yeah, of course, the attractiveness. That's why I call her my Jamaican sensation. And you called me what?
You my bald wonder.
I'm the bald wonder. Yeah, I'm the bald wonder. So so those two things, of course, and then her love for the Lord. She loved Jesus. Her hospitality was very attractive. Her diligence about her work, and she was focused on what she knew she wanted. She was about her business. She knew the assignment. So
all right. So Lezlyn, what about you?
You know what? You didn't tell Karen about that empty seat. Karen, so when he came to me, I was like, he's coming to me? And I was like, well, that blew me away, which was really good. That blew me away. But I felt like, whoa. I mean, he could see me from afar. And then the empty seat, for him to be that bold, I'm like, I think I might check him out a little bit. It's Johnny Parker here. Wait a
minute, you had an empty seat next to you?
Oh, yeah. It was nobody else sitting there in the cafeteria. When he came towards me and was talking to me, and he finished his job like right away. He's supposed to be welcoming, the freshmen. Yeah. Right, Karen?
Freshmen.
He said,
y'all on your own. You'll figure it out.
That's right. I'm welcoming. You told me to welcome the freshmen. This one I'm welcoming.
Welcoming. Exactly. That's what I was doing. I said, everybody, y'all on your own. Y'all figure it out.
He said, y'all figure it out because, I don't want to lose this spot right here. Yeah. So I think that drew me towards him. Like, he's so handsome. His personality, he was so confident, and he just was so confident to sit beside me, like, oh my goodness. And so from that, I just knew something about him. And I just said, I know that he loved the Lord. So that really was a key right there. And he was so popular too. I said, I want the popular man too, so that really got to me too. So loving God, popular. He was so smart. Why I had to stay in the library for a long time, because here, Mr. Wonderful, he just whipped it through. But for him, it was almost like he was protecting me. Because sometimes, Karen, I would stay in the library a little bit longer time. And then I saw like an angel, somebody just looking over me, like protecting me. And so that was another, key to it.
Really, I mean, yeah.
No, but you were looking. He was just trying to.
The angelic spirit part, but what she was doing, Karen, she kicked off those shoes in the library, and I got a thing for feet, and she had these pretty feet, and I was just over there, just taking a glance, like just and it's very biblical, because in the Song of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 1, it says, "How beautiful are your feet in sandals, my love." And I was just being biblical and spiritual. And I was just
and quoting scripture.
That's what I was admired about.
So
you knew the scriptures.
The feet had the glory of God about them. So
Amen.
And he was so creative too. Yeah, he always would check my feet out.
I can hear that. Yeah, I can hear
And
that.
so we did some fun things together too. We did some fun things together, and we laughed. And I just said, I really like him. I like him.
I love that. And I believe that opposites attract, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because when you said that, Johnny, when you said that the things that you love about a person or that you're intrigued with about a person, when you meet them, when you're going through a difficult time, that is the most annoying thing about that individual. Like when I met my husband, the fact that he was very bold and confident and knowing who he is, but he was always joking. Everything was funny. Everything's a joke, you know. And I love that. I love his sense of humor because I love comedy and I just love funny people. Mm-hmm. But when he gets on my nerves, nothing is funny. Nothing is funny.
I know, right?
Yep.
You know, and nothing serious. You can't be serious about anything, you know. Right. So I understand that completely. All right. So I want to talk a little bit because you guys, I want to talk a little bit about communication and what role communication played in your marriage because you're different communicators, right? Sanguine is an open communicator, an oversharer of information, and usually monopolizes conversations. Okay. And a melancholy is thoughtful about what they want to say. They're purposeful about what they want to talk about. And they're making sure that what they say makes sense and is appropriate and is exactly what they want to say. Like sanguines, we boast and brag and we say things that we kind of mean, but not really. So how did communication play out in your relationship?
And you're on point with that because I'm also, I don't like small talk. I don't do small talk well. It's like when you ask me how I'm feeling, I really I take you serious when you say I'm going to get into some conversation and it may be more than what you bargained for. And so in our communication style, it's really important that I make space, the emotional safety for Lezlyn to really share her heart. Like one of the big questions that we learned along the way, Karen, when we were having a conflict was, and we still ask this question, what do you want me to hear that I'm not hearing? Okay, because I love that. I ask that question in business and all kinds of spaces and places. So it's been important for me to take a step back because I used to react to her emotions. I used to react to her words, and I had to learn how to be quick to hear, slow to speak, just let her get it out. And sometimes it came out messy, it came out, but she had to get it out, and because I would be reacting to her, and then it would shut her down. So I had to learn how to just let her, give her space, let her have the emotional runway, get out the stuff. And then typically what she would do, so what are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you based on what I just said? So that's a big part of our communication, learning around that.
I love that. I think that that's something that I will be using from this point forward for sure. But I think that it's the kind of thing that we don't do enough of, is trying to understand what a person is saying or making sure you understand what the person is saying, right? And because I think the onus is on us. We are always trying to make other people understand us instead of us trying to understand others, right? And I think our responsibility is to be the person to seek to understand. So if we're both doing that, we're going to be understood because we're seeking it, right? So that the question, what do you want me to hear that I'm not hearing, is a beautiful question. Lezlyn, what's your take on your communications in your marriage with Johnny?
Okay, mine's is, honey, I'm going to talk it all out. Everything's going to come out. Everything. So what I want you to do is listen to me. No comment, just listen. And I know that when you're not listening, I get more upset because you're focusing on something else, because you're not nodding. You're going, huh? Or can you say it again? So that gets me very upset. So my thing is just like us sitting together, we call it couch time, Karen, and just listening to me. Listen, if I cry, just, hold me,
Yes.
ask me if I want a tissue, just don't let me cry and keep on crying. And then you could say to me, you gonna be okay? Or how can I help you? Those things are important.
Yeah, that is important.
Right, that's important, right?
We're emotional women and men. Sanguines are emotional, okay? And we feel our feelings, but once we get it all out, we're over it. We want to move on and have a happy, wonderful life and go into the next thing, because we've hashed it out and we're over it. Okay. So now we want to have fun. So that I think that's important. Melancholies need to be understood, but they also need to make sure you understand the where the issue stemmed from and how we got to where we are and how we can put plans in place to not go there again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's important that you understand each other's point of view as it relates to whatever the topic is. My husband and I, we share the same blocks. I'm sanguine choleric. He's choleric sanguine. How did that happen? But for him, he's a fixer. So he's always trying to fix whatever I'm talking about. Sometimes I'm just talking because I need to talk it out, not because I need you to fix it for me, because I'm really capable as a choleric, capable of fixing my own issue. But I need you to hear me, right? I need you to hear what I'm saying. I need you to hear my heart. I need you to let me talk it out and get it out. I don't need you to fix it. And sometimes we have to be clear about what we are looking for from our spouses.
And that's the key, Karen, to be clear on what I'm saying. And then I like a lot of feedbacks, like, what's your input? What do you think about it? Let me ask you that, instead of you give my input, because I don't want your input right away because I'm upset, I want to process first. And then after I process and that you're listening, you're holding me and you tune in, then I'll ask my husband, I said, honey, what do you think? Or how can you help me with that? I feel good. It won't go on for a longer time. It will be short instead of like 25, 30 minutes. It might be like 15 minutes because you're in tune and you're listening. That's the key.
And she got some Caribbean in her. She got that little that Jamaican
curry. A little spice. I can put a little spice in there.
That curry spice that comes with it. So mine ain't just you getting it out. You got the little spice girl to it. You got a little spice girl, little curry.
And then she's a sanguine choleric. Yeah, that's some of that spice too.
Oh yeah,
yes. I want to be heard. I want to be heard. Yeah. Karen, I want to be heard. That's so important.
And I'll tell you, Karen, it's another big thing in terms of communication. And this is why that question was so powerful about what do you want me to hear? Because I knew when I asked that question, I knew the Spirit gave me that question. I knew that. And then I'm reading several days later, I'm reading the scriptures and I'm reading Psalm 116:1, where it says, I love the Lord because he heard my cry. And it was like, boom, that's it. The reason that breakthrough and why that question is so powerful, because it's a question bathed in empathy. And here's the deal. Whenever we feel heard, we feel loved.
Oh,
yeah. That's a beautiful thing. I love the Lord because he heard my cry. And that's not a male heart. That's not a woman's heart. It's not a Black, Asian, Latino, or white person's heart. It is the heart. And it's not our ethnic heart. It's the heart of every person. We all have a need to feel heard. So whenever we feel heard, we feel loved. And when we feel loved, it's because we felt heard. That's what David's saying. I love the Lord because he heard. Dr. King said the same thing. A riot is the language of the unheard. So that's a big thing in communication, that how do we make space? How do we make emotionally safe space for a person to feel heard? Because it's when we feel heard. You may not even fully agree with my position on something. That's not the point. It's how do I make space for you to feel heard? Because it's in that feeling heard, we call empathy, we begin to feel loved.
I love that. Oh, that is amazing. I think that's probably one of the biggest issues when people have communication problems. Is the first thing you will hear is, he doesn't hear me, or she doesn't hear me.
Right.
They're not listening. They normally say they're not listening to me.
Right.
But it's the same thing. It's about feeling heard and feeling valued in that hearing. Right. So I love that. But I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in this, because we talked about really sanguines, melancholies, even cholerics in this. The phlegmatic personality, they're challenged with communication, right? Because they would prefer not to deal with anything that's difficult. Because they like, they want peace and they want things to be easy. So they are conflict avoidant. So when you have a couple where one of the members of that union is a phlegmatic personality, where they're struggling to communicate their feelings because they don't want to be rejected, or they don't want to be fighting or anything like that, what tool would you think you could use to kind of draw them out? Because you talked about emotional safety, and I think that's key in probably helping out with a phlegmatic situation. But anything that you can offer that could help somebody who struggles with being open and communicating effectively.
So even in our coaching with couples, one of the things that we do, we'll have them face each other and have them, we coach them on how to do this. We'll say, Archie and Betty, and we'll say, Archie, create space. Betty, what do you want Archie to hear that he's not hearing? And Betty says it. Then we coach Archie. Archie, what did you just hear Betty say? I heard her say she doesn't feel loved. She feels devalued. She feels like the only time I want time with her is when I want sex. And I hear her say she doesn't feel loved and valued. Betty, did he get it? Yes, exactly. Okay, Archie, what do you want Betty to hear? Well, I feel disrespected. She talks to me like she's my mother, and I feel disrespected. Okay, Betty, what did you just hear? Well, he feels disrespected. He feels like I talked to him like his mother. Did she hear you? Yes, she did. That's what we do. So what we're doing, we're creating a space for them to simply dialogue and hear each other. No rebuttal, no defensiveness, but simply hear and respond what I hear you saying. And I'm telling you, doing that is incredibly powerful.
It is
incredibly effective, regardless of your personality type.
Yeah.
If you do that and create space where people feel heard, they feel loved, and it's like, okay, finally, we all want to be gotten. We want people to. I want you to get me.
Right.
And so that's the place.
And the key is talking it out. Like you talk it out. Because once we talk it out, Karen, it's like, wow, I got it out. Even if it's really bad, we said it's okay. Don't do it all the time, but talk it out. Once you get everything out, you dumped everything out, they're feeling better. And then it's almost like, oh my gosh, can't believe that person's saying something, but they're getting it out. And then the next session, they're feeling better,
Yeah.
And so that's so important. Don't stop them. Let them get it out.
Yeah. And I do that very same technique too when I coach. But one of the things I find too is that sometimes people hear what they want to hear. Like when you say, what did you hear so-and-so say? It's something totally different than what so-and-so said.
No.
Did he get that right? No.
And we have you do it again. Okay, do it again. We keep having you do it until you get it.
Right. It's so interesting. Okay, so what I really want to talk about, and I'm excited about, is that the two of you have a book out. Keeping Intimacy Sweet and Simple. Kiss. I love it. I love the title. I think it's important that people understand intimacy is more than sex, right? Mm-hmm. And so I love this. And I want you to talk to me about why you wrote this book, why it's important for people to understand about keeping intimacy sweet and simple.
Okay. Before we wrote this book, I would see couples and I would just kind of admire them. And then at one time I'm like, okay, I think they're fussing. So they would kiss and it's like a routine. So I would do like a survey and I would say, do you love your spouse? Yeah, I do. But it's just like a routine, and then they give me the to-do list, but it's not sincere. And I said, oh, wow. So maybe if I could give you little tools and just not talk about in the morning time, give me a kiss and you pick the kids up, we'll eat dinner. And I said, I'll give you routine. Maybe you could ask them a question, and if you ask them a question, like that's in the book, what's one thing that you appreciate about me? What? I didn't know that he appreciated this about me. So you're talking with each other. And it's like, wow, for like, it could be 29, 34 years. I didn't even know that you appreciate this about me. So talking that in the morning time about what you appreciate about each other, that's huge.
So but how does that build intimacy?
Okay, then it brings me closer. Oh, and because we had the book it's like, you appreciate this about me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, you know, like it's really, it blow my mind, because it's like, wow, it's in tune. You get in tune and you feel that oneness, you feel close because you both are talking to each other.
Yeah. And so what kissing does, kissing is a bridge. It takes you from the land of loneliness to the land of connectedness. And it's an external expression of internal intimacy, internal affection. And so that's what kissing does. And the beautiful thing about it. And what we did, we researched kissing in marriage, and we found that when couples kiss, they live longer. It burns. Check this out. It burns calories.
Oh boy, we're gonna be doing some kissing tonight.
Kissing burns calories. There's a record. There's a couple on from Singapore who has a record of 78 hours. They stayed lip locked.
Oh wow,
a long time. They burn a lot of calories.
Nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do. Probably
some bad breath.
They're probably 90 years old.
Probably 90 years old, nothing else to do. But I don't know. But it
burns
calories,
right?
their focus, the oxytocin, the bond, the longevity. It just, all the outcomes go up. Blood pressure lowers. And so kissing is external, but what it does, it softens the heart and allows bonding and closeness. And that's what a lot of couples are experiencing. A lot of loneliness. There's a loneliness pandemic in the world. Yeah. And so when you're kissing on a regular basis, apart from lovemaking, that's the thing. Right. Many couples, the only time they kiss is when they're making love. But we're saying, no, make it a part, make it a part of your daily ritual, whether it's morning, afternoon, whether it's Good Morning America, whether it's Afternoon Delight, or whether it's Midnight Madness, but that you are intentional about regular times of kissing with the conversation, because that's what we did. We came up with like 52 questions. My wife gave you a few of them. I feel closest to you when 10-minute conversation, 10-second kiss.
What do you appreciate about me?
Yeah, day 2. What do you appreciate about me? 10-minute conversation, 10-second kiss. And I'm telling you, it has been profound, because what we found, you've seen those couples and where they go out to eat and they're not talking. They're on their phones. And we said, we don't want to be that couple. And so we really want to create a space where couples can really have intimate conversations about what matters most. So that's a big reason why we wrote it. We created a deck of cards to go with it. And so that's why we wrote it. We wanted something simple that couples can have engaging, rich conversations and have some affection too.
Well, I'm going to get this book for myself, but I'm also, I'm going to do, I was supposed to do this weekend a marriage workshop, and I got sick last week, and I didn't want to make my audience sick. So I'm going to push it off until February 3rd. And I think I want to give away a copy or two. So I'm going to have to order some of these for that, because I think it's so important, because people don't recognize how important kissing is, because when you're looking at each other and you're getting that close to each other, that form of intimacy is just different, right?
Yeah.
My husband, I kiss every day before he goes to work, when he comes home from work. I was sick last week. I didn't want to come near him because I didn't want to make him sick. He had to go to work. And then I guess it was towards like day 4. He came in, he said, "Can I kiss you on the forehead?"
Yeah. And Karen, by the way, we ain't talking about, that's okay because you weren't feeling well. We're not talking about mwah kind of kiss.
No, you're talking about the get down kiss.
We're talking about needing a napkin, wipe your mouth kiss. Yes. Yes. Yeah. We talking about having to wipe your mouth afterwards kind of kiss. And so
I love it.
Yeah.
And the thing is with this, I'm focused, because when my husband says one of those questions on keeping intimacy sweet and simple, and we ask each other that question in the morning time, I'm eager. What's the other question? And that throughout the whole day, I'm processing it, and our bond is close.
Yeah.
It's no time to fuss, because it's like you're stuck on what your spouse had said. So that, and you communicate a little bit better. So that would help couples to say, wow, I can't believe that the question that we talked about this morning, he thought about me.
Yeah.
And so
honestly,
that's
if you're kissing, you're not fighting, right?
That's the point.
Right.
When kissing goes up, conflict goes down.
Yes. I mean, you don't have room to be fighting.
Yeah, when kissing goes up,
if you need a napkin, if you need a napkin, you don't have time to fight.
There you go. Exactly. Like,
Yes.
yeah. So there you go.
Well, I'm glad that you talked about the benefits. What are the downfalls if people aren't kissing? Because there are people who don't kiss, at all, or give each other the cheek, or
you stay in the land of loneliness, Karen.
Yeah, isolation.
You stay in the land of loneliness. Depression. Yeah, depression. And we wrote it too because we know those signs. We've been there. Well, there have been times in our marriage over the years when I've said to Lezlyn, I feel lonely in our marriage. I didn't know what I wanted her to do with it, but I felt like she needed to do something about that. But it was like I got this backstage. And for a long time in our marriage, I didn't even give her access to the backstage because I was still working through some stuff. And we're still trying to figure out how emotionally safe are we with each other. There's a verse in Proverbs 31:11 says that the heart of her husband safely trusts in her. And so there was some stuff like that, and just feeling the loneliness of how do I lift up and how do we both lift up the window shade to our hearts and allow each other to peek in. So our kissing was definitely lacking when we were in that chapter of our lives. And so we've seen that and we said, you know what? We're not unique. There are other couples who experience loneliness, isolation. And so we want to create space where couples can be intentional. Because here's the deal. No couple bumps into better and no couple wanders to wellness. Better and wellness happens intentionally, not automatically. So kissing is an intentional act. And that's what we hear from couples everywhere we go in our travels, couples who have the book. They said, man, this is so intentional. And I've never been this intentional. I can't keep my hands off him. I can't keep my hands off her. And so that's the intentionality. But when you aren't doing this, it usually means there's, as you said, there's isolation and there's depression. And probably some depression and loneliness in the relationship.
And what usually happens is we hear couples saying they come in the house, they don't talk. They're texting each other. Like, really?
Yes.
Are you serious? You're sitting right beside because they're angry.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't appreciate, you don't love me. You don't want to kiss me. Yeah. You're so busy. So they're, and then too, even if they're in the same bed, she's turning this way, he's turning that way. Yeah. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Somebody said, wow, can you say that again?
And you're eating, right. You're in the bed together. And it's like, I really don't want to sleep beside him. You're turning this way. He's turning that. You're not even praying anymore. Yeah. Praying. Yeah. I'm praying by myself because I'm praying for you,
Right. But I think it's so important for people to understand the intentionality of your relationship. Yeah. Because so we've been married 29 years. It's so easy to just coast along in your relationship.
Coast, that's right.
In the status quo of things, because he works, long hours and stuff like that. And I can be home a lot by myself, even though I run my own business, but there's loneliness in that. So if we're not intentional about the time that we spend together,
right,
then really I can see the loneliness creeping into our relationship. It can happen to anybody. So I think it's so important that couples realize that you have to be intentional about making sure you build the intimacy and keep fostering the intimacy throughout your relationship. I recognize that there are couples who don't make it to 10 years because they give up too soon before they realize that things are going to, it's like being on a roller coaster ride. You go up, you come down, but what comes down is going back up, right? And so some people go up, start up high because they get married and they're excited about everything. And then they hit those bumps and they go down low. And then when they hit that bottom, they're not waiting to see what comes back up, right? And marriage is a cycle. There are times when we love each other and times when we can't stand each other. You go through those periods of time. Even Michelle Obama talked about that as it related to her and Barack, that there was 10 years where she couldn't stand him. She could not stand him for 10 years. And she said a lot of that had to do when they were raising their kids. But she said, but I'll take 10 bad years over, I'll take 10 bad years if I had, 20 good years. And I can appreciate that, but it requires that we are intentional about how we interact and manage the day-to-day And then when you get to 29, 34 years, in those years, you have to be even more intentional.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
About what you do.
Because a lot of people say they become numb. I'm like, really? Do you want to become numb for 10 years? This is 10 years that I heard a couple saying that. I said, now tell me about, do you like this? She said, no, but I'm not going to talk. He's not talking to me. Now that's really quick. That's childish, right? So what you need to do is to say, I need to get help. If I want to stay in this marriage, I want to get help. So humble yourself and say, let's go in the church. Let's a mentor or coach. I need to talk to somebody. And then you hear other people too. They're in the same predicament and they're like, okay, well, maybe we should go together and talk to someone. So that's why with our church, we have so much support. And then my husband and I, we're there for you. We're there. So we're open arms and saying, hey, we'll talk to you. We don't judge. We're saying, okay, how can we help you? How did you get to this point? Let's get to the core of it. And they start to like listen in. Okay, I think I trust the Parkers. Then they begin to talk to us.
I love that. I can tell you that there are personalities that tend to want to work things out more than other personality styles.
Yeah.
The sanguine, we want to have fun. We want to enjoy our spouse and the time we have on this earth. So we really want to work through whatever the issue is and get over it, right? The choleric wants to get over it and get through it too, so they can go on and do things that's more important, that they consider more important, like, business and, and networking and things of that nature. And they don't want to have to revisit any kind of situation that they feel like they put to bed already. The melancholy wants to make sure that they've developed a plan that it won't happen again. Like, I can trust you that it won't happen again. So they have to, and so they're more reluctant to forgive and move on and not hold, because they hold on to past hurts. And so they're less, reluctant to move on quickly. The phlegmatic wants you to go ahead and act as if everything is fine, just so that I don't have to deal with it. And we could just, and not have any pressure and any difficult conversations or any conflict. So understanding that about your personality really helps you to navigate how you're going to be able to manage that. And so the two of you having opposite personality styles and being able to look at that thing from different perspectives and being able to appreciate each other, it's huge. It's huge because so many couples can't figure out that whole thing.
Right.
It's like understanding that it's okay for you to be who God created you to be, and it's okay for me to be who God created me to be.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you operate in your weaknesses. It means that you understand and appreciate your differences.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
Right. And that we each individually look at our own self.
That's right.
And say, how do I fix me?
Right.
I heard a saying, when somebody's aggravating you, even in a relationship, you say, God bless them and change me.
That's good.
God bless them and change me. I love it. All right. So let's talk about how you can help other couples navigate this whole KISS principle, because I think that so many people go through this not understanding how important intimacy is. I think that intimacy means something different to each personality style and how they achieve intimacy. I mean, a choleric, when they marry you and they say, I do, they're telling you at the day I say I do, I love you. I told you when I put a ring on your finger that I love you. Why I gotta tell you this every day? Like, why I gotta prove to you every day I love you? I come home every day, I put a roof over your head, right? A sanguine will tell you I love you all day long,
right?
In different languages, right?
That's so true.
We tell strangers I love you. I love you. We love.
I know we do.
And so we have to be careful so we can make our spouse feel special, that we love them in a different kind of way than we love the stranger on the street. The melancholy is very compassionate and they're thoughtful about how they share their love, right? Sure. And the phlegmatic, you don't always know that the phlegmatic loves you, but their loyalty reflects their love. Mm. Mm. So how can we help these couples to, to keep it simple, right? To do your kiss. Let me put your book back up again. Mm-hmm. To keep intimacy sweet and simple.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is, again, we're going to build on the word intentionality. One of the things we coach couples to do is you create a core values using their last name. And to craft your core values, create an acrostic using your last name. So, for example, for us it's Parker. So the P in our last name is pleasing God. The A is accepting one another. R, respecting one another. K, keeping short accounts. E, encourage one another. The R is renewal, and S is service. So we tell them to do that. And we say to look at that at like every day or once a week. Why? Because leadership literature, when I was researching this, Karen, it showed that couples, leaders who lead from their core values are over 110% more effective, more impactful. So I said, if that's true for leadership, then that's going to be true for a marriage. And by the way, because we work a lot with pro athletes and we worked a lot with C-suite leaders and CEOs. And when we do corporate leadership work with them, oftentimes they bring us in on their marriage. And we say, treat your relationship as if like your business, in a sense. You have regular meetings, regular check-ins. The first two letters in meeting is M-E, me. So how are you showing up? And so we tell couples, have regular meetings, have regular check-ins. And so we tell couples to do what the Ritz-Carlton does. Ritz-Carlton has 24 core values. Every day they look at one of their core values and then they tell a story to reinforce it. So when Lezlyn and I check in once a week, like we did the other day, hey, how do we show up living out our core values? And we talk about it and we have it up. We tell couples to do it, put it up in your home, put it in a place that you can see it, talk about it, because you said it earlier, honey, that when you're not doing this, you drift from the core. You drift from the center. And it's a natural thing. We all drift from the core if we're not intentional about focusing on what matters most. And so that's something we learned later in our marriage, but that's how, whether we're choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, or melancholy, we say do this, especially if you have young children, if you don't have any children, even if you're not married, but just have a set of core values that you look at, and your goal is to stay centered, stay to the center, and talk about how you are living out your core values, and tell stories, because stories engage the brain. Stories help you stay close to the center.
Well, clearly you all are using that, because you both were reciting it like it was nothing. Like you knew it from heart. So I love that. Yeah. I'm going to, Dan and I are going to create our core values, but I think I'm going to have to add a hyphenated name so we can have some more letters.
Yes, you may have to do that. You may have to do that.
Yeah, we may have to do like my maiden name or his middle name or something to add some up.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story around that. We did this. We work with pro athletes, and we did it when Ben Roethlisberger was the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So when we did it with the Steelers, everyone laughed because he has like 2,000 letters in his name.
Every word in the alphabet. Every word in the alphabet.
Yeah, Roethlisberger.
And he finished it too. He did finish.
And so we did it. And his wife's name is Ashley. Everyone laughed because it's like, man, we're going to be here all night with that last name. But so you can get done. Yeah, you have Ward, add an S for service. Yeah, y'all be done quickly. 5 letters.
Right. So tell me, how you've used this principle, KISS. Have you used this with any other couples, and can you share any stories that they've used this KISS principle to strengthen their relationship?
About Arkansas?
Right. Okay. We went to Arkansas a couple of months. Yeah, back in August. And this couple was struggling. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. And you could tell they weren't sitting like close together, and just their demeanor. And so we just said, okay, after the conference is over, you had the book signed, you could come to our book table. She was crying the whole time. I had to like hold her the whole time. And he's standing there and she's like blaming him the whole time. I said, okay. To get our kiss book, I explained the kiss book, and I said, you know what?
And the kiss challenge.
And the kiss challenge, I want y'all to do this. She said, I don't know, I might take you up on it, maybe not. And he's just standing there like, can you help me? And I said, if you do this assignment, you're going to be okay.
So the kiss challenge is when we challenge a couple for 5 days or 10 days. Every day they do one of the conversations and a 10-second kiss. Mm-hmm. And so they did it for 5 days?
And they did it for 5 days. And do you know that after the 5th day, you get on the Zoom and then you talk about your experience?
Yeah, we come on the Zoom on the 5th day that night, and they share their experience.
Right. Do you know they were sitting, Karen, close together now, smiling?
Wow.
The other couples, they were okay. And I said, oh, what do we have here? And so she kept on talking, and he was talking. And I said, okay, they did their homework. They did the challenge. Amen. So what happened is after they talked about in the book, the questions, it was like, I didn't know you appreciate this or you love me because of, and they start to talk, because before, remember I told you earlier, couples just isolate themselves. They were in the same room or a house together. They weren't talking as couple. They began to talk, open up the book, sharing, laughing.
Yeah.
And so they're doing so much better now.
Yeah. So our favorite thing to do is to go into a city and we do this kind of Kiss to Bliss night challenge. We have a jazz artist, a comedian, and it's really attractive because men will come to that. If you say a conference or retreat, people say, what's wrong with your marriage, dude? But you say a date night, you're gonna spend money for a date anyway. And so we did this. We did it in Brooklyn twice, and we did Brooklyn, New York twice. This year we went to Palm Springs, California, did it for like 1,000 people, and then we did Arkansas, and we're doing one this weekend. We're heading out to the close to home, the Hyatt this weekend,
Cambridge, Maryland.
And so our favorite thing to do is to come in and do this Kiss to Bliss, and we talk about it, and then we say, let's do a 5-day challenge, and every day they have a different conversation, different question. My favorite memory with you, I feel closest to you, I enjoy lovemaking with you when. And then that 5th night or that 10th night, we meet them live on Zoom, and they tell us stories, and they're like, man, we're going to be immortal because we're going to be kissing like crazy. And so so we just love that. That's what we really enjoy. That's our favorite thing to do.
We see the highlights of the couples too, Karen. Yeah. They were so happy. Yeah. And they thanked us over and over again. And then they endorsed our book. They said, few things that, their highs and lows, that's what makes us happy.
Because in as we're speaking, we finish making a point, we have a conversation, and then we have a kiss meter, and you see this heart, and you see you just see all this heart go from red to empty to all this red, and it fills up the heart, and you have this kiss meter. You have to kiss as long as it's filling up, and so people are just having fun. And we say, let this be your last. This will help to be your last argument as you do this.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And I think, it's really given me so much encouragement, right? But I would love to host a kiss challenge. I think that's so amazing. And so maybe we can connect and
we'll love that.
Do something together where I host a kiss challenge, get people to order the book, and you kind of come on a Zoom and talk about the challenge itself.
Yep.
I think that would be amazing. We have to connect and do that.
Okay, we'll love that. Yep. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll be amazing. I'm just so in this. Let me see.
Oh, great.
Somebody is asking, what's the 5-day challenge again? Hey, Herb. And Herb is a pastor. And so I think it'll be great for him to hear. Not Herb. Herb is not a pastor. Oh, sorry, Herb. You're not a pastor.
He might be called. He may have been speaking into his life.
But no joke. He's in a men's group though, and the men's group are, a lot of them are really dedicated husbands and fathers and stuff like that. And so one of the guys that introduced me to him is a pastor. And so I know that they would love this kind of thing. I'm going to pass it on. I'm going to try to get folks to do it because I just think it's important, especially like in the month of February where it's the love.
And that's what we're doing. We are now having conversations across the country. Literally, we just talked to some people in Chicago yesterday, and we want to gear up for Valentine's and make it a big deal going into Valentine's, that you have to look at your finger And we want to make it fun. We're going to do the 5-day challenge. We're going to bring a comedian. We're going to bring music and really make it a night to remember. Get ready.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
So in February 3rd, I'm having my workshop. So let's talk about that when we have a few minutes, because maybe I can work out a part of the workshop is ending with the KISS challenge. And then I can get some of your books and we can sell some of your books at the conference. And then people can do that challenge at the end of the workshop. So let's talk about that afterwards.
Okay.
But I'm excited. We only have a few more minutes to talk. I want you to tell people how they can get your book, and if there are any other products that you want to talk about or any other events that's coming up.
Yeah.
Talk a few minutes about that.
Yeah, they can go first. They go to the website. So you might want to type it in. The Parkers Speak. So the Parkers is plural, and then speak. So you got 2 S's back to back. theparkerspeak.com. That's our relationship website. And so we definitely want you to check that out. That is our relationship. And so with that, we do premarital coaching. We do marital coaching. And our sweet spot, really, we go after leaders in the marriage of leaders. And then we on that website, we also have an amazing resource called on the site is our Kiss to Bliss love course. And if you go to the Parker Speak and go to the header, you'll see a trailer. And we're talking about this amazing course. And it's really fun because what you do with that, it's on demand, and it's 10 days, and it's 10-minute conversations, teaching, and with a challenge, a vitamin A for application, vitamin K, you kiss. So yeah, that's it. theparkerspeak.com. So you definitely want to check that out. It's not too late. If anybody is interested still this weekend.
That's right. Friday
Kiss
to
the
Sunday.
Bliss Love Course. Yep. Friday to Sunday this weekend, we'll be at the Hyatt and we'll be speaking. And then Marcus Johnson will be playing music. He has a whole thing called Flow. And so we'll be at the Hyatt this weekend, hanging out there.
And the Hyatt is where? In Cambridge?
Cambridge, Maryland. So we end the year back home. This is how we end the year. We're back home. We've been across the country a lot. And so this is our last experience. But we're gearing up for 2024. So if there's pastors or leaders, yeah, that's it. So we are gearing up because we're looking to do these Kiss to Bliss date nights and make it a night to remember. And stay tuned because we're looking to do something with with us, a comedian and a jazz artist, and really go after. And we want to do it for marrieds, and we want to do it for singles, and just really have a lot of fun and help people really, really enjoy relationships, married or single, the way God intended for relationships to be enjoyed and maximized.
I love it. Now, Lezlyn, you have anything you want to add?
I do want to add something. I do want to say that you can turn the page in your story with your marriage. No matter if it's a horror, mystery, or a drama, you can turn the page. Humble yourself and say, honey, yeah, I do need the help. Look in the mirror at yourself and say, you know what, Lord, speak to me. What's going on in my marriage that I'm doing something wrong? You know what? I'm writing down scripture verses. I'm crying out to the Lord daily. Cry out, podcasts, get people in your life that's mentors that's going to speak life and not judge you. Those are the keys. And humility, again, is the key. And say, you know what? I would love to go to counseling with you because I want our marriage to work.
I just appreciate both of you, the doctors, Dr. Johnny Parker and Dr. Lezlyn Parker. Dr. Lezlyn, that's a new designation that's coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I'm so excited for you.
Thank you so much, Karen. I'm so excited too. To God be the glory. Over 27 years of ministry and helping people that has been through drama. And so when you don't leave them out and you keep on connecting, calling, praying, wiping up their blood, and just, it was horrible with some situations. I'm a person, I never will give up on you. So they said one day, I want to invest. I want to do something nice to you. I want to give back. And by giving back, showing love, caring, calling, sitting down, going over to someone's house, I love doing that. I don't think, like Joyce Meyer says, I'll ever retire from the ministry, because I want to give back. I want to love. I want to help ladies get their fight back. And that's what I've done. And that's because of that, my honorary and other people have seen, and they said, I want to bless you with that.
Yeah, being recognized this Saturday.
And this Saturday, that they'll recognize. And God is so good that the committee oversaw it, and they said, you know what? I want you, even though you'll be speaking at Hyatt, Cambridge, Maryland, you could do it on Zoom. And what a great privilege. My husband will be the one to put the hood on me and give me the diploma. Is God good or what?
Yes.
In my degree. Yeah. And so when you line in with God's word and do what God wants you to do, breakthroughs will happen. And it's just, I'm just so thrilled and so honored. I'm thanking God each and every day for this.
I'm so proud of the work that you guys. It's so amazing. I'm so proud of the work you've done. I think it is a blessing to people actually recognize the hard work and the blood, what they call the sweat equity.
Yes.
That you put in over the years to get this honorary doctorate.
Thank you.
And my friend, Dr. Johnny Parker, has been blessing the kingdom in marriage ministry as well. So I'm so thankful that both of you joined me on Personality
Thank you.
Speaking.
We're so honored. Thank you so much. We love you.
You're so welcome. I said you are a walking, first of all, I'm the expert in personalities, but you guys walk out the personalities in your marriage. And I'm so grateful to just study what you do and just, see how you bless the kingdom. I learn something every time I talk to you. And I'm just so thankful that we had an opportunity to spend tonight.
Yes, same here.
Same here.
I want to do a little video here. Hold on. So next week, we're going to have pastors on here. Pastors Shannon and Conrad Edie is going to be here next week. They're going to talk about harmonious communication. If you like this content, please like and subscribe and check your notification bell so you can get the latest live update on Personality Speaking. This show airs live every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you again for joining us on Personality Speaking, where we are helping you build healthier, stronger relationships through the understanding of the personalities. See you guys next week. Take care.